instead of all of this race-tential garbage and pointing fingers, is because we were all created at the same time, not according to that stupid Adam and Eve myth, because we were all created at the same time. What me and Brother Malachi bringing out is that we all have to own that we've all been enslaving each other since we were all created and we were all original. So therefore, who owns as being the originators and the creators of slavery and genocide? All of us. So shut up.
Point 16. Foreigners may be permanent hereditary property. I read this on the Jesus Way podcast. Like, y'all, it's in the Bible. When you look up and see Jewish folk acting as if you're beneath them, and you look up and see Israelite men and women acting as if they're going to be your slave masters, y'all, it's in the Bible.
Yeah. It's
impossible to read Bible without understanding this.
So now we're going into the racism, the separation of foreigners. And this is what Captain Tazariak always brings out, that there's a difference. God, the God of the Bible, which is a demon, the God of the Bible, Yahuwah, the demon, he holds the bloodline Israelites as a higher special type of people. Now, of course, he created everyone, but according to this terrorist God, he created people to be underneath other people. That's the monster God of the Bible.
Primary source, Leviticus 25, 44 through 46. Israelites may purchase slaves from surrounding nations and resident foreign families. These persons may be inherited by the owner's children and held permanently in sharp contrast with protections for fellow Israelites. So foreigners, if you are outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, you're not one of them, right? When Israelites are in power, they can buy you as slaves, and you will be inherited by their children as their property for life, right? But, the laws for slavery are a little bit more lenient for other Israelites who end up being slaves. But for the foreigners, no. Lifelong bondage. Y'all remember the Anthony Johnson case I went over? And old boy Sam was dinged by the courts in Virginia as his slave for life. What do you think they used to go ahead and justify this? Leviticus 25. All right, let's jump on down though. Let's get into the next section. A captive woman may be taken as a wife. We know about this one, Deuteronomy 21, 10 through 14. A warrior may bring a desired captive woman into his home. She receives 30 days to mourn. If later rejected, she must be released.
Boy, that's one of the most egregious ones.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy, brother.
Her original captivity is not voluntary. You see? So she got to cut her hair, cut her nails, mourn 30 days, and after that, woman, spread them. Spread them. And then
your whole family genocided. You just had a foreign nation came in. You had a group of Navy SEALs came in and put bullets in everything that breathed and moved, but they saved you because you're a young virgin woman. You got 30 days to mourn your mommy, your daddy, your baby son, your grandma, your grandfather. You got 30 days to mourn watching your whole family get genocided by a team of Navy SEALs. And then you better shave that head, you better lie on that bed, and you better spread them legs. That's the monster God of the Bible.
That's right. And then trip off this. After he have his way with you, after he done killed your family, let you mourn for 30 days, tell you to spread eagle. If he don't want you after that, he can just toss you to the streets. Woo! That's why I say if later rejected, she must be released. But you can't sell her.
That proves that's a sex slave.
Yeah.
This is not considered a wife. That proves it. The Bible supports sex slave. The Bible supports sex trafficking. This is sex trafficking. I didn't even know that, brother. You said it. You told me. You keep telling me it gets worse.
It gets worse, brother.
You were talking to a brother that was on the streets for years preaching this Bible and now saying the Bible is a weapon of mass destruction. You all think that brother Malachi just came to this conclusion out of the clear blue sky, man? Brother got 20 20 Negroes holding counsel against him and sending him death threats over this book. No, it gets worse. That's sex trafficking.
Yes.
You can murder, take a virgin woman for yourself, give her 30 days to mourn, and then you can have sex with her. And if you don't want to know more, you can just throw her away. That's what we just read. That's what we're reading.
Yes.
That's the Bible.
That's the Bible. That's the Bible. There's a book called the Holy Bible. Have you ever read it? Have you ever read it? Yes, brother. Yes, brother. All we got to do is slow down and read. If you slow down and read, your mind is going to be blown. Like, how did I ever even fall for this?
Yeah.
How? Let's go down even further. We know about the conquest in Canaan and all that, right? Deuteronomy 25, 17 through 19. Israel's commanded to blot out Amalek. 1 Samuel 15 later presents Saul as ordered to kill men, women, infants, nursing children, and livestock. Midianite women and children are captured. Numbers 31. Israel kills Midianite men, seizes women, children, livestock, and property, and burns settlements. Moses, that wasn't Moses, but Moses then orders all male children and sexually experienced women killed. Killed. All male children, all the male boys, wipe them out, which is crazy because there was an order according to the biblical narrative when Moses was born to do what to the male Hebrews? Wipe them out. Wipe them out. Moses then orders all male children and sexually experienced women killed. 32,000 little girls described as not having known a man are counted and distributed with the what? The booty. Oh, wait. The booty are the spoils of war, and all those 32,000 little girls, they have booties too. Booties they sit on. Virgin girls are considered spoils of war. Woo! What does it say? All the girls who have not known a man, keep alive for yourselves, brother Nathaniel.
But yet they talk about GMS when all of this is in all of the Abrahamic faiths have this garbage. So what they get mad at the Hebrew Israelites for doing is that they're too loud with exposing how wicked biblical God is. That's why they're angry. They like to keep it hush hush. Yeah. You know, the European Jews and the Muslim, they like to keep this part of the Torah hush hush, that the Torah is in favor of sex trafficking and demeaning women. And that's why, especially for sisters that tuning in, you all should be happy to hear masculine black men referring to the Creator as Heavenly Father, Mother, because we're trying to restore the dignity back to the woman that has been stripped away by this monstrous text that we're reading. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. We're dealing with some serious Stockholm syndrome and battered wife syndrome, because any woman who reads what we're reading, you should take that Bible and run it through a shredder. Point
28, OG's kingdom or Og's kingdom is destroyed. Primary sources, Deuteronomy 3, 1 through 7. Israel captures roughly 60 fortified cities of Bashan, destroys men, women, and children, and keeps livestock and other property. And of course, we know about Joshua and all that. Let's get on down. We can always get down into deeper details and all that. We're pretty familiar with what Torah says or what Bible says about slavery. Here's something out the Talmud in later Jewish law. Mishnah Kedushin distinguishes Hebrew and foreign slaves. Look what it says. It says Hebrew slaves are released by completion of years, jubilee, or redemption. A Canaanite slave, the rabbinic category for a non-Jewish slave, may be acquired by money, document, or possession, and normally requires payment or a manumission document for freedom. Watch this right here.
Due to a lack of support, brothers and sisters, our last food drive on July 4th, we fed the lowest number of hungry orphans and children that we had in several months. Unfortunately, upwards of 4,000 children they could not attend due to a lack of food. I told you all that from now on, the number of children we will be able to feed a delicious, nourishing, whole food, plant-based buffet will depend on the amount of money we raise. The cost is $1 to $3 per child, depending on their size. Our next opportunity to attain true salvation and do what pleases the Creator will be on Saturday, August 8th, 2026. Saturday, August 8th, 2026. We are moving our food drive to a different slum, and even more densely populated, more impoverished slum, with thousands and thousands of orphans and children living in the streets. True salvation, according to the real Jesus the Nazarene, is not through innocent blood, but through repentance and making amends. So let us join together, my brothers and sisters, and make amends for our failure on July 4th. $10,000 can feed 10,000 children. Become a $1,000 Seed of Life sponsor for our organic food drive on Saturday, August the 8th. $1,000, listen to me, can feed up to 1,000 children. Hungry, starving children. We are the only vegan food drive in the world that serves the variety of fruits and vegetables that we do. This is the most nourishing and healthiest meal these poor children, these innocent children, will receive all month. So we do our best to fill up their bellies to the max and to always leave some leftovers if possible. How many blessings do you need right now? How many amendments for past sins do you need to make? Help me feed 1,000 orphans by becoming a $1,000 Seed of Life sponsor Saturday, August 8th. Get your blessings, get your healings by achieving the most difficult, listen to me, the most difficult spiritual level a human being can achieve is becoming a master of giving to the poor. All the ways to give are right there on the screen. By August the 1st, August 1st, we need to have the $10,000 completed. Cash App $ Minister of Wellness. Cash App $ Minister of Wellness. Work out your true salvation by helping me to feed as many children as possible. Cash App $ Minister of Wellness. Zelle, make sure you spell it correctly. Minister Nathaniel at theministerofwellness.com. Minister Nathaniel at theministerofwellness.com. PayPal.me/Minister of Wellness is right there on the screen. The official donation page is theministerofwellness.com/give. Theministerofwellness.com/give.
One Talmudic ruling treats foreign slavery as perpetual. Primary source, Babylonian Talmud, Gittin, 38b. A cited opinion interprets what y'all, Leviticus 25 and 46, as a positive command. The Leviticus 25 that we read that says that these foreign nations can be bought as slaves and inherited by your children forever. The Babylonian Talmud is giving a commentary on it. Look what it says. Yeah. It says it is a positive commandment, Brother Nathaniel, to retain a foreign slave, although other discussions permit or require emancipation in particular circumstances. Look what it says, though. Anyone who emancipates or frees his slave violates a positive mitzvah. Do y'all know what a mitzvah is? A commandment. So when you hear the Jewish folks say, oh, come to my son's bar mitzvah, it means son of the commandment. He keeps the commandments. All right. So it says in the Babylonian Talmud that if you free your slave, you are in violation of a positive commandment, Brother Nathaniel. A positive commandment. Come on, man. We know better. We know better. All right, point 5. The Bible and American pro-slavery arguments. Biblical defenses appeared across public life. And look what they were using to support slavery, y'all. In Genesis chapter 9, the infamous Leviticus 25, Deuteronomy 20, and New Testament household codes. Pro-slavery reasoning appeared in court arguments, sermons. So look at your pastors. And they're using Bible. Pro-slavery reasoning appeared in court arguments, sermons, political speeches, denominational declarations, religious manuals, treatises, pamphlets, and fiction. Common texts included Noah's curse, Abraham's servants or slaves. Yes, Abraham in the Bible was a slave master. Yes. Foreign slave laws, conquest laws, instructions that slaves obey masters. That's right there in Ephesians. That's what Paul told you. Slaves obey your masters. And field mind. The racial curse of Ham theory was a later construction. Genesis curses Canaan and says nothing about skin color. Mosaic laws invoked in the Quack Walker litigation. Primary source, Jennison versus Caldwell, and related cases, Massachusetts, 1781 through 83. Nathaniel Jennison's counsel attempted to legally justify enslavement using Mosaic law or the Torah.
Wow.
Quack Walker's side invoked natural rights and the Massachusetts Constitution. Chief Justice William Cushing treated perpetual slavery as incompatible with the state constitution, so the biblical argument failed. But look what they bringing. They bringing Bible out.
Yeah.
They bringing Bible out. What are you talking about? Richard Furman defends slavery for South Carolina Baptists. Primary sources, Richard Furman, 1822 to 23. Writing to South Carolina's governor after the Denmark Vesey affair. You know, Denmark Vesey was attempting to overthrow slavery. He was a brother attempting to overthrow slavery before Nat Turner. All right. Furman claimed that scripture established the right to hold slaves and cited both biblical law and example.
Man, woo, you tearing it apart today, brother.
Hey, bro, all in your court.
Goodness.
So look, y'all, it ain't just in Bible. They use the Bible to justify it in your modern day courts in America.
Man.
You can't get around this. America is a Judeo-Christian. They have Judeo-Christian ethics. Well, that's terrorism to those that know. That ain't no different than being under Sharia law with Islam.
Right.
Yeah, it ain't no difference. What are you talking about?
You can justify slavery with the Bible.
Yes.
You can justify having sex slaves with the Bible. You can justify the Holocaust against animals with the Bible. You can justify alcoholism with the Bible. You can smoke weed with the Bible. You can have 50 different women with the Bible. I mean, my goodness, brother, who wouldn't want to follow this book? No wonder, but you can't do none of that with the Oashpi. And that's why they have to viciously attack it. The Bible, I mean, it's a weapon of mass destruction. It's the worst. Good. It's the worst. People.
Bro, it's the worst biological plague that has ever hit this earth. You know what I mean? And it's just, and over the years, see, a lot of this stuff is surprising to folk because you've been going to these religious institutions, these churches, these temples. You know what I mean? And what you go to hear is selective scripture reading.
Yeah.
They read the parts that sound smooth as butter.
Yep.
Yeah, but they don't get into the other parts of it. The parts that smooth as butter don't cancel out what we're reading.
And brother, because and like you say, you know, me and you, what we're doing is we're completely we're tired of trying to play games and, you know, hopscotch around the truth, because even one of the favorite prophets in the Bible of vegans is Isaiah. But yet at the same time, this tells you how confusing the Bible is. Isaiah is one of the best prophets for the Black Hebrew Israelites to support the fact that slavery is coming for all of the other nations. Every time I listen to Captain Tazariak, he always go to like Isaiah 14:21 about how the Israelites will possess the other nations. he always goes. So some of their favorite passages are right there in Isaiah, while you trying to use Isaiah to quote the peaceable kingdom. So which is it? Is it the peaceable kingdom in Isaiah 11, or will the Israelites be enslaving people in the kingdom? Which version is right? And why do you get all this confusion? Because you probably had you probably got 100 different people that probably wrote that and went inside that one book of Isaiah.
Yeah, man. They don't know what it went. They don't know nothing about, especially dealing with authors. They don't know nothing about that. It's all most of it is a pseudo or a pseudonym. It's an anonymous document.
Yeah.
Most of the Bible is anonymous and it's backdated.
Yeah.
So the authors that appear on the books didn't even write the books. It's a pen name. In other words, Moses didn't write the first 5 books of the Torah, even though it says the books of Moses. For any of y'all that's into the book of Enoch, Enoch lived back during the time of Adam, right? But that wasn't written down, y'all, until the 2nd century before the Common Era. That book of Enoch wasn't written down probably 100 years before who you calling Jesus was born. How the hell is this a book from Enoch who lived back during the time of Adam?
Yeah. Can you tell me this one? I mean, the witchcraft of the Bible, brother. And now when you come out of the witchcraft like me and you, it just keeps getting worse and worse. So you check, they believe that the Gospels are eyewitness account, but yet you have passages saying that Jesus, that then he went away and went by himself. So who was following him to see that? If he went away, if he went away by himself to get away from the crowds, how is that an eyewitness that witnessed that? I mean, it just don't make it. And then he went away and then spoke to his disciples. I mean, clearly this is hand-me-down information or just flat out made up information.
Yes. Look at this right here, Brother Nathaniel. Right, according to the courts, and this is in South Carolina, Richard Furman. The right of holding slaves is clearly established in the Holy Scriptures, both by precept, that's the favorite word of the Israelites today, precept and example. Okay, look at point 48. Thornton Stringfellow constructs a systematic defense. Primary sources, scriptural and statistical views in favor of slavery. 4th edition, 1856. Stringfellow argued that slavery was divinely sanctioned under the patriarchs, embedded in Israel's constitution. Look at this, recognized by Jesus and the apostles, and potentially merciful. Slavery is merciful? Wow. He relied especially on Leviticus 25. That's one of my favorites now. Let's go right on over there and show, right? He relied especially on Leviticus 25, Deuteronomy 20, the Gibeonites, and household codes. Look what it says in parentheses. God has engrafted hereditary slavery upon the Constitution, the right to perpetuate hereditary slavery. Huh? Look at this. 49, Charles Colcock Jones supports religious institution within slavery. Jones' writings on religious institution. Jones described Southern religious literature designed to prove that slaveholding was compatible with scripture while teaching masters to evangelize and enslaved Christians to obey. Quotations, to show from the scriptures that slavery is not forbidden by the divine law. Josiah Priest racializes biblical slavery. Primary source, Bible Defense of Slavery, including the 1851 edition. Priest combines Genesis genealogies, Noah's curse, Africa, race, and biblical servitude or biblical slavery with 19th century pseudo history to depict African slavery as divinely ordained.
Yeah.
Confederate propaganda calls the Bible pro-slavery. Nellie Norton. Some of y'all may have heard of Nellie Norton. Look at this. The pro-slavery novel gives its defender the explicit claims that the Bible is a pro-slavery Bible. Huh? And God is a what, Nathaniel? A pro-slavery God.
A monster.
Woo.
Brothers and sisters, our longest blowout sale of the year is happening now. So take advantage. 50% off the Minister of Wellness books and name brand organic potent supplements. This is only our second sale of the year. The next one will not be until the end of the year and will only be for a few days at most. Most of the extra funds from this sale, as is always the case, keep this in mind, will be utilized to care for our orphans. They are always in need of extra financial support throughout the month. And I'm doing this blowout sale to help fund our August the 8th food drive. Why? Because we failed our July 4th food drive. Our July 4th food drive was the smallest food drive we had all year due to a lack of support. And I tell you all the time that $4,000 monthly offering to support our 200 orphans is not enough. So all of these extra expenses fall on the shoulders of your Minister of Wellness. We are moving our food drive in August for August the 8th to a different, much more densely populated slum. Therefore, we need the entire $10,000 or chaos will ensue due to a lack of food. So help yourself and help the poor by supporting this blowout sale. 50% off. That is essentially buy one, get one free. So purchase as much as you like for yourself and your loved ones. The promo code is Feed the Hungry 26. Feed the Hungry 26. Feed the Hungry 26. That promo code will appear for you automatically to click and apply to your order during checkout. Everything is 50% off. Everything. All books, all vitamins, all sea moss and other seaweeds, all herbal extracts, all the packages, everything. Stock is always limited. We ship on a first order, first ship basis. However, do not worry about something being on back order. We will ship out your order in a timely manner. The sale will end promptly Sunday night, July 26th. Sunday night, July 26th. No extensions, no grace periods. The ministerofwellness.com. Support our blowout sale. Help yourself and help us feed these children. The ministerofwellness.com. Help us care for the orphans by supporting this blowout sale, which essentially is a fundraiser to help us with lagging missionary financial support. The ministerofwellness.com. The ministerofwellness.com.
Illustrating the rhetoric used in wartime propaganda. The rest of that is Dred Scott and all that, and which happened here in St. Louis. Dred Scott. State versus man rested chiefly on the asserted disciplinary necessities of slave property. Dred Scott relied on constitutional history, citizenship, race, and property. The strongest evidence for biblical pro-slavery interpretation is therefore found in arguments, sermons, denominational declarations, and treatises rather than every judicial opinion. Final assessment. Joseph's sale in Israel's bondage in Egypt are portrayed as betrayal and oppression, but the Torah nevertheless permits and regulates slave ownership. Its legal provisions include foreign slave purchase, permanent hereditary status, treatment as property, corporeal punishment, sale for debt or restitution, captivity, forced labor, captive marriage, and destruction of designated populations. The same corpus or the same body of work also limits abuse from Sabbath rest, freedom for serious injury, release and provisions for Hebrew slaves, restrictions on kidnapping, protection for certain fugitives, and limits on resale of captive women. Rabbinic law strengthens some protections, especially for Hebrew servants, while preserving non-Jewish slavery as a legal institution. So whether it's the Israelite or whether it's the Zionists or whether it's the white nationalists, if you identify as this chosen people, you have a right to enslave those who are not. Some sources treat permanent foreign servitude as a command, while others emphasize human conduct and required emancipation in particular cases. American defenders of slavery selectively emphasize the permissive text and frequently minimize the protective ones. Their biblical arguments were public, influential, and well documented, while abolitionists rejected their application to racial, hereditary, plantation slavery. So these are biblical arguments used to justify slavery. We talked about this earlier today. Black and Native American families who owned enslaved peoples. There you go right there, y'all.
Yeah, these are your so-called Black Israelites. Look at the Native Americans, who they say they are, Gad.
Yeah, Gad and Reuben and all that. But they all own slaves too. Judah, the so-called black man, if you're going with the 12 tribe chart, whatever.
Right.
I don't care nothing about none of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only thing that matters is your behavior or the content of your character. And look, I'm gonna let y'all know this. I used to be a brother who used to roast Martin Luther King. I used to roast him every year his birthday came up. One thing that MLK said, regardless if you agree with his life, he had a whole bunch of women's and whatever. One thing he said that was correct. He said, man should not be judged off the color of their skin, but off the content of their character.
Yes.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, let me pull our faces up on the screen because we both owe Martin Luther King an apology. We both, and we're going to do it publicly together, brother. I'm glad you brought that up because we were talking about that privately, me and Brother Malachi, and we were saying that we're hurting our voices, that we owe that man an apology because Martin Luther King was right. And we used to, both of us in our pro-black stupidity, we used to bash him. Oh, he was a coon. He was a Uncle Tom, and he wanted to integrate in his vision of, of all races being one. He was correct on that issue. Martin Luther King was correct. We all won, and we should be able to look beyond our physicality, and we're supposed to work together for the good of all creation. Martin Luther King was right, and that's why me and Brother Malachi, we work with our brothers at the Jesus Way podcast. It ain't nothing about no skin color. We one in spirit, and so we issue a public apology to Dr. Martin Luther King. Because his message of oneness and judgment by the content of the character and his vision of seeing whites and blacks and all races united together, he was absolutely correct.
Yeah, he was spot on. Spot on, man. I used to roast him every year.
Yeah, me too.
I used to roast MLK, man. But man, when I start, and I'll praise the creator, man, I started deconstructing and coming through all this.
Yeah.
It was so much that was pointed out to me, like, man, I was wrong on a whole, almost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't got no time for that. And that's why I come off the way I come off now. I got too much to clean up.
Yep.
I don't have time to argue about spilled milk. No, clean it up.
Yeah.
No, you spilled it. No, you spilled it. No, they spilled it. Oh, they was the slaves. They was the slaves. Man, I ain't got time for none of that.
Yeah.
Clean up whatever it is that you attributed or that you contributed to this madness, man.
Yeah. So we got a long way to go. I mean, brother, we talking about 23 years. I mean, for you, we talking about 19, 18 years strong, converting people to this monster God. Same with me. I mean, we got decades. We just getting started in our amendment. We prayed that the creator keep us here long enough to undo most of the damage. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So y'all see some of these to the left. You got the black and Creole slave owners, Anthony Johnson. Y'all look that case up. It blew my mind. The man sued in court and won, and Sam ended up being his slave for life. And it is ruled and adjudicated in the courts in Virginia, Northampton, Virginia, that another black man was ruled to be his slave for life. All right. So you got him. Then you got Maria Therese Coin. owned 16, personally owned in 1816. Cane River, Louisiana. And then here go her children. Coin children, 58 collectively. Number 4, you got James Colbert. Let me screw this in some more so y'all can see.
Yeah.
James Colbert, Chickasaw Country, Natchez Trace, 1780s, had about 150 slaves. James Van, Diamond Hill, Georgia, died in 1809, Brother Nathaniel. He died in 1809 with more than 100 slaves. William McIntosh, Acorn Bluff in Indian Springs, Georgia, 1825, commonly estimated above 100 slaves. And then it says no single definitive count located. Who else we got over here? There goes Sister Anna Kingsley, Pursley, Florida, 1860. So this during the Civil War, Brother Nathaniel. She had 4 slaves. And there go to Kingsley Fort George operation. Approximately 60 slaves were under Anna's supervision.
And there were black folk who fought for the Confederate to keep slavery. Exactly.
And here goes some of the Native Americans. While y'all think they just was sitting around smoking the peace pipe, not doing nothing. No, they own too. They own slaves too. Major Ridge, Rome, Georgia, before 1837, 30 slaves. There go John Ridge, 21 slaves. Joseph Van, approximately 110 slaves, 1835. George Colbert, 150 slaves, 1838. William Ellison, 63 slaves, 1860. Andrew Dunford, 77 slaves, 1859. Claire Pollard, 44 slaves, 1830 to 1852. And it goes on, brother.
Yeah.
It goes on. Robert M. Jones and Susan Colbert, Choctaw Nation, Louisiana, approximately 225 at a time.
Woo!
Huh? No surviving source identifies every black or Native American slaveholder. Ownership was recorded through censuses, slave schedules, deeds, wills, probate inventories, bills of sale, mortgages. Look at that, mortgages, plantation books, court petitions, tribal censuses, and federal treatises. Carter G. Woodson's compilation of the 1830 federal census identified 3,775 free black slaveholders. You hear this, Nathaniel? In 1830, a census was taken, and it was 3,775 black slaveholders, Brother Nathaniel, with 12,760 enslaved people recorded under their legal ownership. What are we talking about here? You mean to tell me it was damn near 4,000 slave masters who held over 12,000 slaves themselves?
Never teach us this.
Man, if y'all
they just
don't
want to keep us
alone.
Perpetual victims. They want to divide us. Yeah, that's all these false deities are doing. They just want to keep us divided.
Exactly.
Like, and share, family.
Okay, now let's get down to this, because a lot of y'all don't know this. So that all that history is out there dealing with that. But what about this whole going into slavery by ships? Israelites.
I didn't know he was going there, Brother Malachi. I didn't know.
Oh
man. Woo! I didn't know you was going there today, brother. Woo! Man.
Hold on.
Oh my goodness. This is the claim. You all share this with every black Hebrew Israelite you know, because the whole claim, family, the whole claim is that black people, we of the transatlantic slave trade, we are the Israelites because of Deuteronomy 28:68 that says that you will go back into Egypt by ships. And according to the black Hebrew Israelites, only one people went to slavery by ships, and that is the signifier that we are the Israelites. Well, Brother Malachi Maccabee, Hebrew Israelite leader over 20 years, is about to expose that as a lie.
You've been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Huh?
Man, this is the signifier. This is the signifier that we are the Israelites, because there was never a slavery that was by ships except for the black man and the black woman. We're the only race that was ever transported into slavery by ships. Uh-oh.
That's one of the biggest lies ever. That's one of the biggest lies ever. You dig? I looked up the who, the what, the word, the when, the why, and the how. I wanted to know. I'm saying this is a very detailed presentation. We just skipping around right now. And again, this is the condensed version. The version that I put together is over 100 pages, Brother Nathaniel. Good night. Good night. So who from all nations? Who all went into slavery by cargo slave ships? Who all? Africans, West and Central Africa, Indigenous Americans, Caribbean, North America, South America, Europeans, the white man, right? English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, Dutch, German, and others. East Africans and Madagascans, Slavs and Caucasians, the Black Sea region, Middle Easterners and North Africans, Southeast Asians and South Asians, Pacific Islanders, Chinese laborers. Look at that, Brother Nathaniel. White Cargo is a book you can go get. If y'all think I'm lying, go get the book White Cargo by Don Jordan and Michael Walsh. I dare you to go get it. White Cargo, the forgotten history of Britain's white slaves in America, Brother Nathaniel. You thought I was playing? Man, I'm here to bring the whole thing down. I'm here to bring it all down. All of us are evil.
Yes.
Been evil our entire lives and existence, and got the nerve to start complaining at the end of this thing.
Yeah.
Look at this. Parentheses, held them in the Americas in various forms of bondage for anything from 3 years to life. And then, look, y'all, this is Britain's white slaves in America. The book again is called White Cargo. Go get it. Daniel Defoe described indentured servants as more properly called slaves. Okay, let's go over. Y'all think it's a game? We here to bring the whole thing down. We're not playing with you. Over here still crying and complaining.
But we the only people, we had a special type of oppression. Stop being a victim. Victimhood idolatry, like our oppression is so special. We unoppressed everyone and oppressed everyone. And again, we'll have to go to part 2 to talk about what we do collectively to the animals.
Oh, man.
Don't nobody want to hear that mess.
Look at this.
400 years, we the only one to Egypt by ships, and there they should not be redeemed. That's right.
Look at this right here. Where, when, why, and how. Where? Africa, Americas, Europe, Middle East, Asia, Pacific. When? 15th century through the early 20th century. Look at this. Why? Plantation labor, mining, colonial expansion, punishment, profit, population control. Wow. How? War, raids, kidnapping, deceit, debt, judicial punishment, contracts, coercion, black burden, piracy. Here's some of the court records. Court records and primary sources. Gregson versus Gilbert, King's Bench, 3 Douglas KB 232.99. Y'all know the rest. This was an action on a policy of insurance to recover the value of certain slaves thrown overboard. Massachusetts, Body of Liberties, quotations, lawful captives taken in just wars. Reprinted in William H. Whitmore, The Colonial Laws of Massachusetts. Virginia General Court, July 9, 1640. John Punch, a Negro, to serve for the time of his natural life here or elsewhere. All right, there goes something right there, reports or cases. Now here at the bottom of this, and then we about to get into what the difference between Bible and OWASP. We about to get into that right now. Look at this. Look at this. Africans. 12.5 million taken, 1525 to 1866. Indigenous Americans, Taino, Pequot, Wampanoag, and many more sold to Caribbean, Europe, and North America. Europeans, English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and others, servitude from 3 years to life. White cargo. How you think they get into all these places? You think they walking? Right. You think they flying?
Right.
You think they're driving? There ain't no vehicles.
Right.
There ain't a plane in the sky, and there ain't an automobile on the road.
Right.
How they getting there? Via ships.
Right.
You ain't the only one that got on a slave ship and was brought somewhere else and put into bondage.
Yeah.
Indian Ocean and Asia, East Africans, Indians, Madagascans, Southeast Asians, Dutch record ships to Cape, Asia, right here, Black Sea region. Look at that. Slavs. That's where you get the word slave from anyway, y'all. Slavs.
Right. Exactly. It comes from white people.
Yes. Yes. And look at this, y'all. This was in 1373.
Right.
Europeans and Americans, Barbary captives, ransom or enslaved in Algiers, Tripoli, and Tunis. Pacific Islanders, Blackbird in 1860 through the 1900s, 62,000. And then Chinese and Indian laborers, indentured after abolition, UNESCO record. So as we see, so-called the American Negro is nowhere close to being the only people ever loaded on some type of ship and brought somewhere else and put under bondage.
Right.
Okay.
Get your comorbidities protection package now to make sure that you use it to supplement your nutrient-dense, plant-based vegan diet to get rid of any comorbidities that weaken your immune system before the next pandemic comes. And if you're getting comfortable and you don't believe another pandemic is coming that will destroy those with a weakened immune system, you are sadly mistaken. My comorbidities protection package for all creation gives you my 5 most powerful, best-selling herbal supplements in a package for half off the regular cost, no promo code needed. TheMinisterofWellness.com, TheMinisterofWellness.com. You get my fat loss herbal extract, lower blood pressure herbal extract, the immune support herbal extract, the blood sugar balance herbal extract, the reduce inflammation herbal extract. And this package addresses all of the leading causes of death in all people: obesity, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and chronic inflammation. Always keep in mind, brothers and sisters, that 90% of all profits funneled through the ministerofwellness.com online store goes towards helping us serve the poor. True salvation. The ministerofwellness.com, the ministerofwellness.com. Please don't get comfortable, brothers and sisters. Don't get comfortable. A lot of you rushed and purchased the immune support emergency stash when that Chinese virus was starting to spread. Now you're not hearing about it. Don't get comfortable. Make sure you have your 7 bottles of my most powerful herbal extract for your immune system, the immune support emergency stash. You get 7 bottles of my powerful immune support herbal extract, which is a mixture of powerful herbs for the immune system. You get all 7 for 50% off, no promo code needed. TheMinisterofWellness.com, TheMinisterofWellness.com, TheMinisterofWellness.com. Remember, most of the profits from the online store also goes right into feeding the missionary work. When you give to the poor, that also helps boost your immune system. 888-847-8026 if you need help placing an order, any questions, comments, or concerns. 888-847-8026. 888-847-8026.